Welcome to the Creating a Shared Vision for the Learning Design Team of the St. Louis Park Public Schools. Now, we had our first meeting last week, and at the end of the meeting, 6 groups were asked to answer the question, what do you want in a school design features? And so we set individually as 6 groups, and now the smaller group got together, and we were assigned the task of creating a shared vision. Well, what is a shared vision? The purpose of a facility-related vision statement is to guide the master planning effort, help us set priorities, align resources, and facilitate an efficient decision-making process. So the following is a summary of that discussion. So we sat down, we said, look at all the different things the 6 groups have put together, and we came up, okay, let's come up with 6 categories that cover everything we talked about. And let's talk about all the details that went into those 6 areas. And then from those building blocks of information, let's see if we can come up with a vision statement. So let's go over the 6 main areas that we talked about last week. We need a welcoming environment. It's a place where people want to be, not a place where people have to be. We want it to be a safe and caring environment, an environment that fosters movement. Great ambiance with natural light, green spaces, and an air of culture. We need dedicated quiet areas, a community access to facilities, comfortable and adaptable furniture, inviting, culturally inclusive, and easily navigated. The second main area is we want healthy living. We want a concern for nutrition is obvious. State-of-the-art heating and cooling for a comfortable and healthy environment. We want gardens to provide fresh produce, natural light and green spaces, a positive environment, the feeling valued, attention to acoustical design, people have to be able to hear, environmental efficiency, a cafeteria space that shows concern for health, and one that fosters movement. The third area a design needs to be flexible and sustainable. We need multi-purpose common areas, outdoor learning spaces. Sustainability, this came up over and over again. We're designing for the long term, not just for immediate needs. It needs to be fiscally responsible. If something's going to be sustainable, it has to be physically responsible. It needs to be building security with the effective use of technology. We want a flexible schedule time. What we mean by this is not necessarily a traditional 7-period day. And there has to be flexibility in design. Next major area needs to be efficient. Makes a balanced use of technology. Technology is not a be-all and end-all. There are some times when you need face-to-face talking with people, and there are other times where you need to use social media to communicate with everybody all over the world. And it's this balanced use of technology that we need, not just here's the latest gadget, let's use it because it's wonderful. Again, we talked about in order to be welcoming, it needs to be easily navigated. To be efficient, it needs to be easily navigated. Here again, state-of-the-art heating and cooling systems. That was part of being a healthy environment. It's also part of being an efficient environment. We have to make sure that we're using the finest systems to be an efficient system. Access to all relevant technology. Sufficient broadband with room for growth. And again, sustainable. Common theme here. We're designing for the long term, not just for short-term needs. There needs to be a space for all learning and all learners. All students need to be engaged. There needs to be dynamic teachers. Flexible class size based on students' needs and ability. Flexible space for interdisciplinary projects. Common spaces. Spaces for all subjects. There was a lot of comments about we need gym space, we need art space. As a smaller group, we got, there needs to be a space for all subjects. We need to create an environment where there's semi-autonomous learning. Life skill opportunity is not just math and English or everything. No, we need to be teaching life skills, communications, responsibility. And it needs to be engaging and there needs to be a flow of learning. Finally, we want engagement with the community and a sense of community, a sense of belonging. It needs to be safe, valued, connected with each other. There needs to be collaboration and interaction within the school. There also needs to be partnerships and collaboration with the larger community. needs to be culturally inclusive. There needs to be pride and ownership and a sense of responsibility. Here's another theme that keeps coming up. It has to be a safe place. And now to get back to where we started, kind of come full circle. It needs to be a place where people want to be, not a place where they have to be. So here's all these building blocks. Now, in order to be an effective vision statement, it has to be something that you can remember easily, because there's 20 or 30 items here. We've seen vision statements that have 15, 20 items. You're not going to remember 15 or 20 items. So we want to boil it down into a concise, like a slogan that we can remember. So here's our first draft. We want to create an environment where everyone learns and feels that they belong. That creates a better community and a better world. So with that, let's follow the path and achieve our vision.